Here we go, we're going to park on a curb. Will it stop? That's the question. Yep, good job Tesla, good job. That's how I park my car. Tesla software update 2020.32.3 has started rolling out in the UK and Europe, and I'm going to explore what's new this side of the Atlantic for the Tesla Model 3. So my first impressions are actually annoying that nothing much has significantly changed. I was kind of hoping we'd get some response to traffic lights and stop signs by now, but it still looks like that's on the cards for future updates, and it might be reliant on the fact that the EU regulation hasn't been relaxed yet. I'm driving around to see whether we've got any changes to Autopilot or the visualisations, but as I said, early impressions are nothing has changed there. Some of the key changes that we've got are the fact that now you'll get notifications through to your phone if you've left any of the doors or windows open, and also the option to automatically shut all your windows if you've left them open when you lock the car. There's some updates to third-party chargers using CCS Type 2 combo chargers, as well as you can review notifications once you're stationary through the software tab in the settings. So one of the key new features for 2020.32.3 is the fact you can now get notifications through to your phone if you've left your doors or your windows open. By doors, I also mean your front or your boot. If you leave any of these open for more than 10 minutes, you'll get a notification through to your phone. That's if you've enabled notifications on your phone to tell you that you've left them open, which means you can then go and secure them if it's overnight, or if it's raining and windy, you can shut them before too much damage is done. You get the option to exclude your home, so if you like to leave your car unlocked in your garage, or you're leaving your windows open because you're venting them because of the hot air, then you can get to choose this option. You can enable this feature by going into your settings, then scroll down to your locks tab, and then you'll get the option to choose whether you want notified when your doors are left open, which includes your boot and your front, or whether you want notified when you leave your doors and your windows open. In theory though, you shouldn't actually be leaving your windows open, because another new feature of 2020.32.3 is the fact that you've got the option when you lock the car to automatically close all your windows. And I know this has been a feature on a lot of modern cars for quite some time, but considering this didn't have this feature when I bought the car, and I've got it a year later, is quite a nice touch, I thought. Again, you enable that feature by going into your settings, under locks, and then you scroll right to the very bottom where there'll be a tab that you can just switch across to automatically close your windows. The third part to 2020.32.3 is the fact that you now can store and look at notifications, which could come in quite handy if you keep getting messages when you're driving along and you're not quite sure what they are, or you don't quite read them in depth and you want to report it to the Tesla service center. You can now go into the service section and scroll down, and there's a section called notifications, and it will show you all your past notifications. So if you couldn't quite remember that technical term that your Tesla's been telling you is wrong, then you can go in this when you're nice and stationary and just double check it and make sure that you tell the Tesla service center the correct term so they can fix your car properly. The final addition to 2020.32.3 is the fact if you're using a third-party CCS Type 2 combo charger, when your car's fully charged and it's unlocked, it will automatically unlatch, which means you can just pull the charger out a lot easier. So it's a bit more of a convenience upgrade, but again, it's helpful all the same. I've scrolled through all the subsections of the settings as well. I've not found any significant changes in any of those tabs, unfortunately. So we're just driving around now looking at Autopilot and seeing whether there's any alterations to the visualizations. We've just got Autopilot engaged on this country road now. We've got some traffic lights coming up by the looks of it. So we'll just see how smooth it stops as we come up to this traffic, because quite often with updates, it can sometimes be a bit overkill with the brakes. But we're just coming to a nice stop now. Yeah, that was nice and controlled. Wasn't too heavy on the brake setting, which is nice. And then what we'll do, we'll test and see how well it pulls away, because it's always been a bit slow at pulling away from stationary traffic. And it's actually managed that quite well because we didn't actually stop through that process. I will keep a good grip on it and we'll see if it avoids this cone or whether I have to disengage. It's getting close. No, I didn't like that. So it's still not that great at avoiding cones. It should have really avoided that cone and given that a wide berth before we even got close to it. But so far, no new visualizations. See, it panics. Autopilot just panics too often. I find I have to have my foot over the accelerator. I'm not sure whether it was panicking at the bend or the fact we have pedestrians on our left. But you just have to be ready to respond to that. We maybe came a little bit quick up behind that car and it had to brake a little bit heavier. Considering it knew where the car was well in advance, it could have adjusted its speed a little bit more gradually. Yeah, there you go. I thought that might break on that section, so I had to override it with the accelerator. And then again here, it always chooses the right-hand lane, even though the left-hand lane is the way forward. Here we go. I mean, I'm still in the correct lane technically, but it's not ideal. Override that just so it doesn't confuse that car. So it looks like Autopilot is behaving as it normally would do. There's been no changes that are noted here. So we'll just head round onto the motorway and see what Navigate on Autopilot's like. Now, the setting I have my Navigate on Autopilot on for overtaking vehicles is Mad Max. It's not as mad as it sounds, it's still quite tame. So if that helps you judge how rapid or slow it is to overtake vehicles, Mad Max is the setting I use. So we'll get a solid blue line when Navigating Autopilot is engaged, which as we come onto the motorway, it should, you'll hear a little double bing bong, and that means it's engaged. And then it should in theory, there we go, then it should in theory indicate and take us out. Now I've got to bring the speed limit down because we're coming on to a 60 because the average speed limit. And then it hopefully should take me out in a second. No, it's a bit slow there. So it's things like that. And I know they're roadworks, but I'd have hoped that would have been sufficient there. So it's having a think about changing lane, but it's not at the moment because there's a car right next to me. I'm going to indicate now in the hope it pulls out. There is a car there. That's fine. Now, normally I'd test how quickly it would get back in, but I reckon it'll probably ask me to overtake again because the speed limit is 60 and we're only going 54. There we go. Right, let's overtake this next car. And I could do with it just accelerating a little bit now. So here we go, we're out here, there's no traffic behind me, but that silver car in front is actually pulling away from us, so I'd hope it would start to ask me to go back in, because otherwise we're going to be undertaken in a minute. But it's not going to. Right, I'm just going to speed us up. So there's a bit of a slow section to demonstrate stuff, but what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to pull out into this other lane, and then show you a glitch with the system. And I think it's because our roads are slightly narrower than American roads. So if I try and indicate here left now, it will panic about this lorry being in the wrong lane, and it thinks it's in the middle lane, so it won't get over. And that is still a glitch that has not been fixed in this update. So let's just try and pull over now that lorry is out of view, and there you go, it will do it now. So that's still a problem that they need to fix with Autopilot. So yeah, Navigating Autopilot, no significant changes to that as well. We'll go and try a quick Autopark, but so far all the features seem absolutely identical to what they were before the 2020.32.3 update. And it's clear, as I pointed out in one of my earlier videos, that it's still visualizing give way signs and it's in that shadow phase. Because if you look coming up here, it will visualize this give way sign and draw a line on the road, even though it's not actually the give way. And then when it recognizes another give way sign, it will draw the road markings as well. So it looks like they are trying to roll out give way signs and get the Tesla Model 3 to recognize give way signs. If you want to see more of that, I've done a whole video on that. That's in my video section. I'll link to it up here as well. But that just shows that they're starting to work on that process of recognizing give way signs so that our car will hopefully start responding to those along with traffic lights and stop signs. So we'll just see what its parking is like here. And hopefully it will identify this spot on the right as a parking space, because it is. There we go, we've got one here. Just keep my hands on the brake and the wheel just in case. I think that... No, look at that, that's terrible. That would have hit that. That would have smashed that Micra to pieces. Okay, let's try that somewhere else, where hopefully it's not going to crash into the car. Let's getting all kinds of wrong here. We've got a stop sign, we've got a wheelie bin, we've got a motorbike. Oh my God. Let's just reverse and look at this visualization. What is it making of this? Right, there is definitely not a wheelie bin. I can understand why it's got a stop sign. I can see the cones. I want to see this motorbike again. There it is. Phantom motorbike. Definitely not there. So that's bizarre. How weird. So yeah, sometimes it doesn't visualize stuff right. But also it's not visualizing a parking space. So let's carry on my adventure to try and find a parking space that the Tesla Model 3 would be happy parking in. This is what you pay thousands of pounds for, people. Okay, let's see where this tries to park us. Oh my God. Let's just go with this. I'm going to override it because it's clearly going to park somewhere where it can't. I mean, look, what is it trying there? That's insane. Autopark is not good. It just tries to park you in places that don't exist. It was all right. Autopark used to work really well. And now, God knows what it's doing. Right, I think I'm going to give up on auto parking. I can't really find a space that's perfect for the Tesla Model 3 to try and park in, and those two attempts are clearly fails. So we'll just go on the assumption that auto park is a work in progress, and it probably needs kind of like textbook conditions to be able to park for you. It's a feature I've not really ever used because I feel okay parking the car myself, and judging by that, I think I'm better at it. Here we go. I'm going to give it one last chance. This is it. Come on, Tesla, you can do this. But I think that's too narrow. But again, I just want to see if the Tesla's going to identify it or not as a space. I reckon I could get in there. Oh, the Tesla thinks it can get in there. Oh my God, it looks like it's going to try and go in. Look, watch how bad this is again. I'll go my foot over the brake. Where is it going? Here we go, we're going to park on a curb. Will it stop? That's the question. Yep, good job, Tesla. Good job. That's how I park my car. I think we'll abandon that now. So that's it for 2020.32.3. So if you're capable of closing your own windows and doors, you're not missing much if this is going to take a little while to get downloaded. And if you use the Autopark feature, well, maybe you might want to skip this update altogether, because that was not very impressive. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit subscribe, because this channel is all about Tesla Model 3s, and as you're watching a video on a Tesla Model 3 software update, I'm guessing that is your kind of thing. And also a thumbs up is nice, just because it's just nice, isn't it, to give something positive back to the community. Now, I'm off to try and find a parking space this car is going to park in. I've only got 54% charge. It could be some time.